The leader of a Houston-based megachurch said Tuesday that it would open its doors to victims of Hurricane Harvey, after its initial statements about the storm met with strong criticism online. Joel Osteen, a prominent televangelist and the leader of Lakewood Church, had not said whether the church would be offering shelter when he tweeted Saturday to express his prayers for those affected by the storm. Criticism of Mr. Osteen intensified after the church, which holds services in a 16,000-seat arena that used to house the Houston Rockets basketball team, posted on Facebook on Sunday that the building was inaccessible because of severe flooding. "We want to help make sure you are safe," the post said, before providing a list of shelters in the area. Those two messages tipped off a days-long backlash as social media users questioned why the church was not doing more to help those affected by a storm that has left tens of thousands seeking shelter from rising floodwaters. Many others rushed to the defense of the church, which is home to one of the nation's largest congregations. "If you guys at Lakewood cared half as much about your own people as you do your Sunday offerings, you'd definitely have those doors open," said a Facebook user, Gary D. Coleman, in a comment that was representative of hundreds of others that were left on the post. "You all do realize that it takes a significant staff to open the doors and keep a church running as a shelter," said another Facebook commenter, Lori Marie Campbell. "It could very well be that Pastor Osteen's staff can't get there, because the roads are flooded." At about 11 a.m. Tuesday, Mr. Osteen announced that the church was available to anyone seeking shelter. He said that he and his co-pastor and wife, Victoria Osteen, care deeply about our fellow Houstonians. The church had said on its official Twitter account earlier in the day that it was receiving those who needed shelter, and added that it was collecting diapers, baby food, formula and other supplies. Donna Loff, a church spokesman, told CNN on Tuesday that the church had never closed its doors and that it was always prepared to shelter people once city and county shelters reached their capacity. Mr. Olof did not respond to requests for additional comment. Many of those who took issue with Mr. Osteen's initial statements seemed primed to criticize the non-denominational church, which has become a target for opponents of the prosperity gospel, the belief that there is a link between Christian faith and financial success. Mr. Osteen, who has made tens of millions of dollars from book sales and other ventures, has told congregants that God wants them to prosper financially. "We live what we preach," he told Oprah Winfrey in a 2012 television appearance. "We've given millions of dollars, and I don't think there's anything wrong with having a nice place to live and being blessed." Lakewood sits just north of the Southwest Freeway in Houston's Upper Kirby neighborhood, which residents said was less affected by floodwaters than other areas. It was unclear on Tuesday exactly how the storm had affected the Lakewood building. Photos shared with CNN showed that at least some areas of the church, which is several stories high, had flooded, though Mr. Olof said that the water had already receded. Jorge Sanhuezalian, a photographer with Cut, a public radio station in Austin, said in a phone interview Tuesday that he had been by the church at about 9:30 a.m., and that there was no visible flooding outside. A blog post on Lakewood's website on Monday said that the church was working with Samaritan's Purse, an evangelical aid organization, to help with relief efforts. Earlier posts had announced that worship services and classes were cancelled for the weekend. Several hours after Mr. Osteen tweeted that Lakewood's doors were open to those seeking shelter, a photo taken outside the church showed a line of cars waiting to get in,